Hello musical explorers, welcome to another lesson. Today we're going to continue to do our level 1 theory book. And let's hop straight into today's lesson. Today we're going to be working on lesson 8, D, A, E, and B flat major and minor 5-finger patterns and triads. Okay, let's start reading this part. D major, A major, and E major 5-finger patterns are similar. Each triad includes a sharp on the third, the middle note, on the keyboards below. The notes that make the triads are circled. Alright, so let's start with our exercise. Study the 5-finger pattern above. Which has an extra sharp? Well, like mentioned above in this text, it says that all of them have their third raised, their third note raised. Like it's the middle note of the triad raised, right? But one of these 5-finger patterns have an extra note raised. So we want to know which one it is and what note is being raised, what extra note is being raised. So in this case, let's see. The third is being raised, third is being raised, the second and third is being raised. So that means this one is our extra sharp, or like our extra it's our extra sharp basically. So which has an extra sharp? So E major 5-finger pattern has an extra sharp. So we're gonna write E major, just like that. All right, what is the name of that sharp? So the sharp that is extra, we say, is going to be our F sharp, because it is not our third, but it is still being raised, correct? So it's F sharp. All right, now let's look at this. B flat major 5-finger pattern has 2 flats, B and E. On the keyboard below, the notes that make the triad are circled. All right. Add sharps or flats before the notes to complete these 5-finger patterns. Alrighty. So, what is in the key signature of D major? Well, there's F and C, right? Yep. Okay, so let's see, F and C. So we have F over here, but do we see C in our 5-finger pattern here? Well, no, we don't. So we're not going to do anything with that. Now let's work on B flat major. B flat major. It already told us that in B flat major there's B flat and E flat. So let's flat both B and E. So let's flat B over here, as well as E over here. Got it? Awesome. Alrighty. Let's do this exercise here now. So in E major, what is the key signature in E major? Well, let's see. Okay. So in E major, we have F, C, G, D, right? We have F, C, G, D. So we're going to do F, C, G, D sharp. F, we don't have C, G, and D. We also don't have D. So that's what it's going to look like. All right, now let's do A major. So in A major, we have F, C, G. So let's sharp F, C, and G. Do we have F? Nope. Do we have C? Do we have C? Yes, we do. C and G. Do we have G? No, we don't. So that's going to be it for that one. Now we have E major again, which is also just going to be, in this case, F and G, right? So let's sharp F and G, but in treble clef. F and G, just like that. Now let's do A major. So in A major, we know that there's, like in the 5-finger pattern, we only have C sharp. So we're going to sharp C as well in treble clef. Got it. Let's do D major. So in D major, there's F and C, right? So let's sharp F and C. So we have F over here, but we do not have C in this 5-finger pattern. So we're not going to be sharpening anything else here, and that's it. What about B flat major? Well, in B flat major, like we learned before, there's B flat and E flat. So let's flat both B and E. So B is here, and E is over here. Just like that. All right, let's do this one. To change D major, A major, and E major 5-finger patterns into minor, the sharp on the third, the middle note, is removed. All right, so basically, if we want to make our major triad into a minor, then we have to lower the third. But in this case, we're not flatting it, right? Because it's already sharp. So to lower it half a note, so let's see. So if it's like already F sharp over here, to lower it, it's just F. It's not going to be F flat, it's just going to be F because we lowered it half a step like that. Got it? Okay. To change B flat major 5-finger pattern into B flat minor, flat is added to the third, the D. So as we can see, this one is like a natural in the major, but in the minor, we have to flat it. So if the D is over here, we have to lower it half a step. It's going to be D flat. Great. Let's do some exercises now with that. So we have, we have A major to A minor. So we already have it sharped, right? So to lower it half a step, it's just going to be a natural. So for naturals, we don't just leave it like that. We have to, actually, let me see. Yeah, I don't think we need to draw anything else. I don't know if they want us to like draw a natural sign there, but I think we're just gonna draw a natural sign because why not, to make sure that we know it's a natural. So this is just gonna be a natural. Now E major to E minor. Oh, I see, never mind. So this is an example, so we don't do that one actually. So that's, okay, so that means that we don't have to draw any other accidentals. We don't have to draw the natural. So this is an example already, so we don't have to do anything there. We have to now draw out the notes as well. So let's start with this one. Okay, so let's draw from E to B because it's just 5 notes because it's a 5-finger pattern, remember? So let's draw E to B now. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. There's no accidentals on there for now, but to make it minor, we lower the third, remember? So we're just gonna, we're just gonna make it like, we're gonna sharp the F because that's there. We're gonna sharp the G. But since we have to lower the third by half a step, we have here G sharp, right? It's here. But to lower it half a step, we have just a natural G. So we're going to remove that sharp there. And we don't have to draw a natural sign. It's just going to be a regular natural, just like that. Got it? All right, now let's do D major to D minor. So we're just going to draw D to A. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So if we lower that by half a step, it's just going to be natural. So there's no key signature, right? Great. E major to E minor. Let's draw E to B. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Now we have this as a sharp, which we can remain because it's not third. So it's not going to change, right? But this is the third. So we have to lower it half a step, which makes it a natural. So that's already natural. Great. A major to A minor, right? So let's draw A to E. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So to lower it, we remove the sharp. We lower it by half a step, so it's just going to be a natural, like that. All right, D major to D minor. Let's draw D to A now. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Now since we lower the third, that's just going to be a natural, like that. All right, next one. B flat major to B flat minor, sorry. So, let's see. Okay, so let's draw the whole thing down, like exactly as written. So, we're going to have B to A first. B, E, F, G, A. Now, add the accidentals. B flat, E flat. Now we have to lower the third to make it a minor. So we have to lower this note, right? The third note. Now since it's already natural, we lower it by a half step. So F lowered by a half step is gonna be, well, it says an E, but it's like technically a F flat, right? So that is just gonna be an F flat. Awesome. Now let's do our next page. All right. Yeah, okay. 4. Change these triads from major to minor. Draw each triad in the empty measure and lower the third a half step. All right, so this is the major triad. This is the D major triad. Now to make it into D minor, we lower the third by a half step, right? So let's highlight that because that's important, right? So to lower by half step, we just make the F a natural, so we just don't add the sharp. And that's just exactly how our minor is going to look, right? So let's draw that down. Yes. Okay, just like that. Sorry, that looks a little bit wonky. The notes kind of overlapped, so let me just redraw that to make it look better. Okay, just like that. That's just going to be our minor because we lowered the third, so it turns into a natural, like that. Now let's do our next exercise. Sorry, I'm having trouble speaking today. But yeah, we do the same thing. We just lower the third by a half step, which makes it a C natural instead of a C sharp. So it's just going to be the same thing. So that's exactly how it's going to be. Now let's do E major to E minor. Let's lower the third, so the G sharp becomes a G. So it's just going to be like that. Same thing here, D major to a D minor. It's technically the same thing, but in treble clef. So it's just we're just gonna remove the sharp because we lowered it a half step. So it's gonna look like that. Now we have E major to E minor. Same thing again. Remove the sharp because we lowered it by a half step. So it's just gonna be all naturals, like that. And again, we still remove the sharp because it's in third. And it's gonna look exactly like that because we lowered it by half a step. So it turns into a natural. Now, let's do B flat major to B flat minor. This one's a bit different. So, how about this? Let's jot down the notes. Now, since this flat is in the first, or like the root note, we're just going to keep it because we don't do anything to the root note, right? But now, what we have to lower the third note by half a step. So if we lower the D, the middle note, the third note, D, by half a step, boom, that's going to be here, right? So that's going to give us a D flat. So we can just draw a flat on the D because we lowered it by a half step. Got it? Awesome. So let's do our next exercise. Name these 5-finger patterns. The first one is given. All right, so let's see. So let's first identify our key. So we have A, right? We have A. Yes. So we have A, but in A major, what do we have? We have F, C, G. So F, C, G. So we're supposed to have F sharp. Do we see any Fs? No. C sharp. C sharp. G. We don't have G. So that's what the major is supposed to look like, right? That's the A major, because our first note is A and it has all our A major key signatures, which is here. That means that is going to be A major. But our third here is not a sharp. It doesn't give us a sharp. It gives us a natural, right? It gives us a natural. That means if the third is being lowered by half a step, that's a minor, right? It's a minor. So that's just going to be an A minor. And maybe a little like trick for you guys when you guys are doing this is usually when the third is like a natural note, it's probably a minor. It's probably a minor. Okay, so let's do C. What is this? This is E major. So what do you have in E major? We have F, C, G, D. F, C, G, D. F, we have F. C, we don't have C here. C, G, G, and D. We don't have D. But this G is lowered because there's supposed to be a G sharp, but we don't have a G sharp. That means it got lowered, right? Got lowered. So if the third gets lowered, that means that's a minor. It's a minor. It's a minor 5-finger pattern. So we know that our first key is an E, right? E. And because this is lowered, it's an E minor. Just like that. All right, let's do our next page. We have the same exercise, but just with a lot of examples. Okay, so first, let's find out the key. What is our key? Our key is A. That's an A, right? A major. Sorry, I just told you guys the answer. But yeah, it's an A. It's an A. But how do we know it's a major? Well, in A, so let me just write A here since we already know that. A, well, it's a major because in A, in our key signature in A, we have F and G. Oh, sorry, F, C, G. F, C, G. So we have F, C, G sharp. F sharp, G sharp, C sharp. Let's say it like that. So do we have F in here? No, we're good. Do we have C sharp? Yeah, we do have C sharp. And do we have G sharp? Well, we don't have a G here, so that's okay. Well, look, it follows our A major key signature. That means this is an A major 5-finger pattern. So that's how we know. All right. Now, notice how the third note is a natural, so that's probably a minor, but let's give it a good check. So what is the first note? It is a D. Let's write that down. Now, what is in the key of D major? Well, in D major, we have F, C, right? So do we have F sharp? No. Do we have C sharp? Well, we don't have C, so that's okay. But we don't have F sharp, so it got lowered. It's just a natural F, not a F sharp, right? That means it got lowered. So this is a minor key. It's a D minor. All right. What about this one? This one's a sharp. The third note is a sharp, so it's probably a major. Let's see. So this is an E, right? Now, what's in the key signature of E major? Well, in E major, we have F, C, G, D. So do we have F? We do. Do we have C? We don't have C in here. We don't have the C key in here. F, C, G. Do we have G sharp? Yes, we do. Do we have D sharp? We don't have D here, so that's okay. Now we have all of our key signature here, right? That means it is a major because it did have all of the key signature in E major key, right? So that is the E major. What about this one? This one is a D. Well, our third note's sharp, so it's probably a major key. So this is going to be a D. What's in the key signature of D? D major. What's in the key signature of D major? There's F and C. Do we see F sharp? Yes. Do we see C sharp? We don't have C in here, so that's okay. Now that means since it does have all of the key signatures of D major, that means it is a D major 5-finger pattern. So just like that. What about our next one? This looks like a major to me because the third is raised, or the third is a sharp, right? What's our first note? It is an E. What is in the key of E major key? What is in the key signature of E major? Sorry. Okay, there's F, C, G, D, right? Do we see F? Do we see C? We don't have C. F, C, G, we have G, and D, we don't have D. So it does have all of the key signature we need. So that means it is a major key. All right, what about our next one? Our third is a natural, so I think this might be a minor. So what is our first note? It is an E. So it's an E. Now, what is in the key signature of E major? We already did a lot on E, right? So we know that there is F, C, G, D. Do we have F? Yes. Do we have C? Nope, but that is okay. C, G. Do we have G? Nope. C, G, D, right? There's no D. That's okay. So there's no G sharp. That means our third is lowered by a half step. That means it is a minor, right? E minor. Let's do our next one. So this one is going to be a little bit different. So let's see. What is in the key signature of B flat major? So in B flat major, we have B flat. In B flat major, we have B flat and E flat, right? Now, do we have both of them? Yes, we do. That means it is a major, right? Yeah, so it is a major. So that is a B flat, since it's the first note. B flat, major. What about this one? We also have B flat. So in B flat major, we know there is B flat and E flat, right? Do we have B flat? Yes. Do we have E flat? Yes. But realize how the third is being lowered, right? If the third is being lowered, what does that mean? That means it is a minor. So we know that's a minor. Now what's the first key? It is a B flat. So we know this is a B flat minor. Awesome. Let's do our next page. Wow, this is a pretty long lesson, but yeah. Here is our last page. All right, match these triads with their names by drawing lines to connect them. Now, we're going to do the same thing since we don't have a lot of space and it's going to be very messy. We're just going to label, okay? So, yeah. Now, what is this? What is our note? It is an E. Now, is it a major or a minor? Well, in E major, there is F, C, G, D. So we have the G, right? There's no E sharp. Good. There's no B sharp. Good. That means this is an E major. What about this one? This says it's a D, right? The lowest root note is a D. Now, what's in the key signature of D? There's F and C. Do we see the C note? There's no C note. That's okay. What about F sharp? Well, we have F sharp. That means it is a major. What about this one? This one is B flat, right? What's in the key signature of B flat major? There's B flat and E flat. Is there E flat? No, that's okay. And what about B flat? We have B flat, right? That means it is also a major. So this is a B flat major. What about this one? This one's a D. It starts with a D, right? So I'll write that down. Now, what is in the key signature of D major? There's F and C, right? Well, the F is not being sharp, isn't it? That means it's being lowered. So that means it's a D minor. What about this one? This one is an A. It starts on an A. Now, what's in the key signature of A major? There's FCG. So the C is being sharp, that's good. That means this is a major. Next one is an E. Key signature of E major is FCGD. So, do we have the G sharp there? No, we don't. That means it got lowered, so that is an E minor. What about this one? A, right? A. What's in the key signature of A major? It's FCG. Well, the C isn't a sharp, right? That means it got lowered, so it is a minor. What about this one? This one starts on a B flat. Now, what's in the key signature of B flat? It's just B flat and E flat, right? But there's a D flat, so the third got lowered. That means it is a minor. Awesome. All right, let's do our next section. Name these triads. So now we kind of know that most of the time when our third note is a sharp, if our third note here is a sharp, then it is probably a major. If it is a natural, or if it's a flat on our third note, it's probably a minor. So I guess we could use that strategy, but that doesn't apply all the time, okay? All right. What is our first note? D. How do we know it is not a minor? Yeah, because the third is not being lowered. So this is a major. What about this one? This one has a flat on the third note. That means it got lowered. So this is a B flat minor. What about this one? This one has a sharp on the third note. That means it didn't get lowered, right? So it is an A. No, hold on. Sorry, that is a wrong. So usually I like to use uppercase for major notes and lowercase for minor notes. So this one is an A major because third didn't get lowered. This one? Well, that one's technically the same one, right? But the third got lowered. That means it is a minor. It is an A minor. What about this one? B flat. Well, third didn't get lowered. So it is a B flat major. E. And we have third didn't get lowered, so it's an E major. Same thing, but third got lowered. That means this is an E minor instead. This one is a D. Now in D major, there's FC, right? F got lowered. That means it is a minor. Awesome. This one. It is a B flat minor because third got lowered. This one is a E flat, or it's an E minor because it is an E minor because third got lowered. Yeah. D minor because third got lowered. What about this one? That one's an E major, sorry. It's an E major because third didn't get lowered. This one is a B flat major because third didn't get lowered. All right. What about this one? This one's an A. That one is A. This one is a minor because the third got lowered, didn't it? Now this one's the same thing, but the middle got sharped. So instead of being lowered, it's back to normal. That means this one's an A major instead. What about this one? This one is in D major because our third didn't get lowered. I'm going through these quite quickly because this is a really, really long lesson. So hopefully we can get through this fast and, finish as soon as we can because this is a really long lesson, to be honest. But hopefully all of that made sense to you guys. If you guys have any questions about this kind of problem, just let me know and I am more than happy to explain in depth for you guys. All right, draw these triads. So E, let's start on E and let's stack up 3 notes. So E is here, right? Now let's make a triad. You just add 2 notes like that. Now what is in the key signature of E major? In E major we have F, C, G, D. Do we see F? Do we see C? Do we see G? Yes, we do. G. Do we see D? No. So that's it for E major. That's how easy it is. Now let's do A minor. So let's draw A. And let's make a triad. Let's make it looks like, doesn't it look like a snowman to you guys? Yeah, so we can stack a snowman when we are building triads. So in A minor, well, let's find out what's in A major first. So in A major, we have F, C, G. So in this case, we have a C sharp, right? However, it is a minor. What do we do in minors? Well, we lower the third, remember? So after we lower the third, the sharp becomes a natural. So we can just cancel that out like by erasing it. And that is a minor. B flat major time. Let's stack a snowman. Just like that. So since it already tells us that it is a B flat, let's draw a flat on the B. Just like that. Well, what's in key signature of B flat? B flat, E flat, right? Is there an E? Nope, so we're good. What about this one? Let's build a snowman again on A. Just like that. What's in the key signature of A? A major. Well, in A major, we have F, C, G. So we have a C sharp. And sorry, that's a really, really wonky sharp. But we have a C sharp, so we're going to just draw a sharp there. What about this one? D minor. So we have like that. Well, what's in the key signature of D major? In D major, we have F, C. So the F in the middle note should be sharp. But since it is a minor, we cancel it out, remember? So F is just going to stay natural like that. Great. What about B flat minor? Let's build a triad. And since we have B flat, we flat the B, right? Correct. Now, what do we do in minors? Now right here we have a B flat major, but we want a B flat minor. So in order to do that, we lower the third note by a half step. So instead of D, we have D flat now. So that is a B flat minor triad. What about D major? Let's stack a snowman. Now, what is in the key signature of D major? We have F, C. So there's no C, so we have only an F sharp here. Just like that. All right, last problem. We're going to get through this. Let's push through. Let's build a snowman on E. What's in E major? F, C, G, D, right? Well, if it's a major, there's a sharp in the middle key, right? But since it's a minor, we lower it. So there's no more sharp, So it's just going to stay a natural, like a G natural, just like that. All right, today's lesson was so long. It was 34 minutes. Wow. Well, we got through all of this. We pushed through. We did a very, very good job. And yeah, I think that's going to be it for today's lesson. All right, musical explorers, that is going to be it for today's lesson. We had a very, very long lesson today. Wow. But we got through a lot of work and we had a very productive lesson. And I hope to see you guys in our next lesson where we will be doing a bit of review and maybe also some of our next lesson. So yeah, I hope you guys have a wonderful day and I'll see you guys in our next lesson. Bye!